Now, it's 15 years since Patricia Grainger's body was found dumped under a mattress near a brook close to her home on Buchanan Road at Parson Cross. She'd been stabbed, sexually assaulted and strangled, but to date, no one's been convicted of her murder. Well, her son, Daniel, was just 5 years old at the time. 4 years ago, he set up a website called Who Killed My Mum? And he says that's produced little progress. And now the 20-year-old from Foxhill is once again pleading for information to help catch her killer.
Before she was found, she'd been missing for about a week from home. It's not the first time she went missing. She had, gone missing before, but she was found within a couple of days. And she went missing for about a week before her body was found. And my family had been around looking for her before they actually went to the police. They didn't go to the police for a couple of days until after she'd been missing, because obviously she'd been missing before. And when they did go to the police, they obviously filed a missing persons report. And then on the 10th of August, the police come to my house and obviously told my granddad what had happened, that they'd found a body and he had to go and identify a body.
Where did all this happen, Daniel?
Hartley Brook, it's like a stream which was on from the top end of Parsons Cross, near Wordsworth Avenue, and goes all the way down towards Shire Green. But it was near the Shire Green / Collie area of the brook where she was found.
Now, you were only 5 at the time. To lose a parent as a small child is on its own devastating, but in such a horrific way.
Well, at the time, I didn't really understand what was going on, and all I really gathered was that my mum had gone to heaven, because that's all I knew it as at that time. And I can't say it would have been probably about 8 or 9 before I realised what had actually gone on, and before it started kicking in. But it didn't properly kick in until I was about 13, which is when I went through a stage of depression and anxiety and stuff, and locking myself away from the outside world. But then one day I just told my auntie about it, and she helped me get through that, in a sense.
So your aunties helped you to get through a really difficult period that came a long time after the loss of your mother, but it's still with you. You need to get this situation solved. You need an answer, don't you?
Yeah, well, it's not just myself, but like I said, for my auntie, for my granddad, for the rest of my family, because it's affects everyone in different ways, and mainly it's mentally where it's affected everybody, because people can't do what they want to do. Like, my auntie, she has anxiety and agoraphobia and stuff, where she can't leave her house without someone being with her, and that's obviously affecting her because she can't live a normal life herself. And everyone else, like my granddad, I know he's depressed with everything as well, and it affects everyone in loads of different ways and loads of different emotions. Have there been any developments at all over the 15-year period? There was. At the beginning, someone was arrested and charged with my mum's murder, but that person was released. And then a couple of months after I started the website, 2 people was arrested. They arrested them on someone else's information.
What do people need to do if they think that they might remember something, any information at all?
They can either contact the police, they can contact Crime Stoppers, or they can even send me a message via my website, which I can forward the message on whether they want to leave the name or not, and the police obviously take that information and do whatever they seem to be doing with it.
Daniel Grainger appealing for information about the death of his mother, the murder of his mother 15 years ago. That's Patricia Grainger. As you may have caught earlier in the programme, the son of a woman who was murdered 16 years ago and whose killer has never been caught has today renewed his plea for information surrounding her murder. Patricia Grainger's body was found dumped across a mattress near a brook close to her home on Buchanan Road at Parson Cross. She'd been stabbed, sexually assaulted and strangled. Her son Daniel was just 5 years old at the time. 4 years ago, he set up a website called Who Killed My Mum, but he says there's been little progress there. Well, earlier, I spoke to Detective Inspector Kevin Brown from the Major Incident Team at South Yorkshire Police, and I asked him to explain more.
Obviously, all cases in South Yorkshire Police that are undetected in relation to murder are investigated on a regular basis. Within the Major Incident Team, we do have what we call a cold case team, and they work on historic cases throughout the year. That's their main role. In 2008, information came to light regarding Patricia Grainger's murder, and a full investigation took place where 2 males were arrested. Unfortunately, they weren't connected to the murder and were released insufficient evidence. On top of that, we also conduct forensic reviews in relationship to the murder of Patricia Grainger. That's been ongoing for a number of years now, as advances in sort of science, technology, etc. improves. Again, it's led to some sort of developments, but not enough to sort of identify an offender.
Can you remind us of what you know is known about what happened to Patricia?
Well, Patricia was assaulted quite seriously and left in an area of Sheffield known as the Brook, which runs at the back of Dearlands Avenue at Parsons Cross. She was found in the Brook in an undressed state, and she'd been stabbed and sexually assaulted.
That's 15 years ago. The case is still open. You're ongoing with your inquiries. Does this really hinge... You mentioned advances in technology, but does this really hinge now on witnesses, people coming forward with what they know?
Obviously, there are some advances in sort of DNA and things like that. But yes, it does hinge on some member of the public coming forward and helping us to catch the killer of Patricia Grainger. What I would say is that we take all information seriously, as we showed in 2008 when we arrested two men following new information. And I think that came as a result of Daniel setting up his website, Who Killed My Mum. So we do take things seriously and we do investigate it. Unfortunately, on that occasion, the evidence didn't fit. What we need is new people to come forward and help us solve this murder.
It's a cold case. When you have cases like this, do people often remember things, or do they come forward because they feel as if they need to get something off their chest?
I think it's sometimes they need to get things off the chest. Bearing in mind it's 15 years ago. If they have information, it's to get it off the chest rather than they've just remembered it.
And if anybody does have something to get off their chest, or indeed if they have remembered something, what should they do?
They should contact us on our 101 number and quote incident 414.
Detective Inspector Kevin Brown from the Major Incident Team at South Yorkshire Police.